Hey BookTube, Science Fiction Reads here with a book haul. Apologies if I look half dead. I'm recovering from a cold and lack of sleep. I have a couple other videos I wanted to do before this, similar to my top 10 from a couple weeks ago, but I need to get this book haul uploaded so I can get these either on my shelves or in some boxes. I don't have a lot of room left on my shelves. And the lower priority books I just have in a huge box in a closet, and some of these are going to end up there. First, I just wanted to, I don't often buy books I already have, like replace the editions I have with nicer editions, but I sold some books on eBay, and I kind of use that money. I kind of spoil myself, really. I buy more books. I haven't done this before, but Perdido Street Station, this is a copy I've had for a couple years. This is probably my favorite novel, and I've only read The Scar, the sequel, once, but I sold some books, and I've been eyeing this first edition of Perdido Street Station for years, and I finally found one. I want to say decent price. It was still, after shipping, like $115 Canadian. But yeah, it's my favorite novel. And the cover art, who did this cover art? Edward Miller. I've always loved this cover art, and I've always wanted to see it up close. It's awesome, because I mean, it's somewhat high. Sometimes I have trouble visualizing the stuff I'm reading, and New Crobuzon, the city that this takes place in, is a wild place, and this certainly helps. It's decent shape, and along with it, I also got a copy of The Scar. This I bought off Amazon, which I don't often do, because anytime you buy a used book off Amazon, it's a different edition. It's not what you wanted. It's a hardcover when you wanted a paperback, stuff like that. There was no picture of this. It said it was hardcover. It said it was signed, and it was $15. I knew it wasn't going to be signed, and I was pretty sure it wouldn't be this edition hardcover, but it did show up. It's not signed, but it is like a nice edition, and it goes along with the Perdido Street Station I just got. Those are going to look awesome on my shelf. I don't think they published Iron Council in a matching edition, last I checked. But I already have, it's not hardcover, but it's about the same size, and even though it's a different publisher, the logo's red as well, so they'll look decent enough on the shelf together. All right, I also bought, actually no, I didn't buy. I was on Facebook Marketplace, and this older gentleman was getting rid of just this massive box, like 150 science fiction books. A lot of it I already had, and some of it I wasn't interested in, but this is what I kept. Let's start with these. Michael Moorcock. I don't think I've read any Michael Moorcock, and I don't know. I must have something of his, but I don't think I've read anything, so I'm pretty sure this is part of his Eternal Champion series. The Lives and Times of Jerry Cornelius, and it's in decent condition, other than a cracked spine. The Warlord of the Air. I don't know what this one's about. I mean, I've read the synopsis, but great shape. Spine's pretty good. Here's one by Brian Aldiss, The 80-Minute Hour. I believe this is a space opera. It takes place on Earth, but probably takes place in space too, because the synopsis makes it seem like it takes place entirely on Earth, but reviews say it's space opera, and it matches. Where does it match? I've got one of his trilogies in the same edition, so it's going to look pretty nice on the shelves beside those. Oh, sorry. Here's another Michael Moorcock. This is a trilogy. Yeah, The King of the Swords, The Queen of the Swords, Knight of the Swords. Again, I don't know anything about this, but I want to read more fantasy, sci-fi, the stuff that's kind of science fantasy. And I know he writes a lot of stuff like this, and I know he's a very popular author. So, is that all I got from him? Yeah, those three. So, that might just be sword and sorcery stuff. I don't know. Philip Jose Farmer. I'm currently reading some of his books, which I'll talk about at the end of this video. Dark is the Sun. I think this might be a standalone. Many generations after Earth society has collapsed, I think. Kind of a post-apocalypse adventure story. It sounded good when I looked it up, so kept it. And here's another one. The Stone God Awakes. I don't remember what this is about. I'm just looking at the synopsis, but there was a number of his books. I kept about half. The other half, after looking them up, didn't sound like I'd be interested. I'd love to keep them all, but I don't have space. This is cool, a classic, Alas, Babylon by Pat Frank. One of those classic post-apocalypse books. Very interested in reading this. And similar to that, this came from a local guy I buy books off. Earth Abides by George R. Stewart. That's another one. I'm even more eager to read this, post-apocalypse. And I love this cover art. These are cool. This is what caught my eye when I saw these books online. When Gravity Fails by George Alec Effinger. I've wanted this for quite a while. I believe it's cyberpunk, science fiction, maybe noir-ish. It sounds similar to Neuromancer, sort of. So I got that. I've heard good things about it. The sequel came with it. And I was not aware, there's a third book in the series. I absolutely hate that it's a different size. It's gonna look terrible on the shelf. And to my surprise, this one's actually signed, so that's neat. The Exile Kiss. Return to the world where, when gravity fails and a fire in the sun. So yeah, third in the series. What do we have here? James Tiptree Jr., Warm Worlds and Otherwise. I think this is short stories. I feel like I've read something by her, but I can't remember what. If I did, it was short stories. It must have been in an anthology or something. But yeah, this has lots of stories, and I mean, this is a classic, well-regarded author, so I like having, an opportunity to check out a bunch of her stuff. I also got a few of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series, Douglas Adams books. I've always felt like I'm not gonna like these because science fiction humor does not sound like something I would like, but I hold on to them. They're classics. A couple of these I already had. I just kind of included them in this haul because I replaced the editions I had with the ones that came in the box, and a couple of these I did not have. I don't know if I like these, so I hold on to them. They'll probably go in a box. One day I'll read them, and chances are I'll love it because that happens all the time. I always judge things, put them off for years. Then when I finally get around to them, I realize they're amazing. That's what happened with Neil Asher, who's one of my favorite authors now. Where's his stuff? Oh, you can't see it. Joe Haldeman, All My Sins Remembered. The premise to this sounds awesome. Actually, this kind of sounds Neil Asher-ish. Or does it? No, it's more like Ian M. Banks' Culture series, where kind of an undercover agent that goes to other planets and fiddles around with politics, maybe. It's been like 2 weeks since I read the synopsis, but I've read The Forever War. That was one of the first science fiction novels I read, actually, when I started reading science fiction in 2015, and I loved it. So I kept this, and I mean, it's old enough that it's got the wild edge, colored edge papers. I love that. These came from a thrift store. I have not read much Philip K. Dick, but Second Variety, it's just a collection of short stories. And Selected Stories. These were like 25 cents each. Similar. The Android's Dream by John Scalzi. The premise to this, again, like this is obviously somewhat comedic, but I have read a lot of John Scalzi, so I hold on to this. What I didn't hold on to was Red Shirts, which maybe I should have, but I don't like Star Trek, so I got rid of it. Maybe that was a mistake. Fred Saberhagen, not someone I've read, but I want to get around to him, so now I've got a copy of Berserker, which I know that's part of a larger series. Cool cover art too. Oh, it's got the first few pages ripped out, so I can't even look up who the cover artist is. Tough Voyaging by George R.R. Martin. I'll probably never read Game of Thrones. I haven't read anything by him, but this does sound interesting. And I mean, look at that little space cat. Come on. Recall Not Earth, C.C. McApp. I think this involves like the last members of humanity who are mercenaries. This is probably not well known, but it sounded interesting, so I kept it. And again, it's got the cool blue edges. Time and Again by Clifford Simak. I don't know if I even read the synopsis, but I keep Simak's because he is an author I do enjoy. Wild. Oh, some more Philip K. Dick, Eye in the Sky. I think these are people kind of stuck in a maze on a planet. Again, it's been like 2-ish weeks since I read the synopsis to these. This is one that's been on my radar for years. I put it on my TBR on Goodreads years ago, and I'd never seen this cover art either. It looks cool. Another short story collection, The Variable Man and Other Stories. Probably some overlap with the other two short story collections I just showed. And a neat copy of Martian Time Slip. I like that font. That's some interesting cover art. I think I've only read a couple of his short stories and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. The Wind's 12 Quarters, Ursula Le Guin. This is the same edition as her Earthsea trilogy. Well, same publisher, same kind of look. That'll look nice on the shelves beside that. Getting right down to the end here. I believe this is Space Opera, Starplex by Robert J. Sawyer. I think it involves alien. It's a First Contact, I think. I know the synopsis is not on the back. That's also been on my TBR for years. I just never came across a copy. I really don't like TV tie-in. Like it says TV tie-ins, like it has Netflix right on the cover. I hate that. But this is a nice edition paperback of Altered Carbon by Richard Morgan, and it was only $1, which is the only reason I bought it. I watched the first season of the show. It was but you know the book's going to be much better. Last but not least, a book I've wanted to read for quite a while, The Shrinking Man. I got this from a local guy who sells books, and I love that cover. That's crazy. I mean, I don't like spiders, but Adrian Tchaikovsky kind of changed my opinion on spiders. Who did this? Doesn't say who did the cover art, of course. And another one I got off that guy, Robert Holdstock, Where Time Winds Blow. I absolutely loved this. Took me by surprise. It's about humanity's colonized a lot of worlds, but on this planet, there's a canyon with winds that blow through it that deposit or take away artifacts from the past and future. And they're trying to discover what that's all about. And the ending was nothing that I expected. I could see people loving or hating this book, especially for the ending that kind of comes out of nowhere. Although there are hints throughout of where it's leading, but I really enjoyed it, and I know he's most famous for his fantasy, like the Mythica Wood series, I believe. So I do plan on checking out more of his stuff for sure. And that's about it, other than I just recently read Philip Jose Farmer's To Your Scattered Bodies Go. I enjoyed that, although I went into it more so expecting and hoping it was going to be similar to John Varley's Gaia trilogy. Just like more world building, more exploration of the world. And maybe I'll get more of that because I'm onto the sequel, The Fabulous Riverboat. And I got the next few in the series. So far it's not as good as I hoped, but I am enjoying it. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching. More videos to come. I can't believe my last video has like 1,300 views. That's crazy. So thanks for watching.